Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could join us as well. Well, as I told you guys, June is recognized as a lot of things, including Effective Communication Month, something that definitely in broadcasting we try to be able to understand and appreciate. The ability to communicate clearly and concisely is important for all of us, though, whether they're talking about at work, at home, or, of course, with our family and friends as well. And who better to talk about this than soldiers that are in the Army Reserve? Soldiers rely on strong communication skills to make sure their message gets across effectively and concisely. So we're excited to welcome to our broadcast today Staff Sergeant James Garvin, a mass communication non-commissioned officer for the U.S. Army Reserve, Europe, and Africa. He's going to shed light on the importance of effective communication, both personally and professionally. Staff Sergeant Garvin, really appreciate the time. Thanks for the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah, this is an important topic. As I said, we've been talking about this already here on the radio side because it is recognized, of course, as Effective Communication Month. Why is effective communication so important, though?
So effective communication, I believe, is paramount because we as humans interact with other humans all the time, right? So we're bound to communicate with each other. If we aren't relaying what we want and how we want it, then you can't expect to get the intended result. I mean, you can relate it to work, you can relate it to your personal life, to your family members, friends, effective communication. If you want something done, if you want people to know how you're feeling, right? It could be as simple as that. You need to communicate that.
I think that's such a great point. And again, it happens definitely in all areas of our life. Of course, when we think about the Army and Army Reserve, we think about, of course, not only discipline, but also communication. So how does the Army Reserve train people to communicate?
Yeah, so our primary role, I'd say, is to inform and educate the public about the Army Reserve's mission, activities, or people. We go to DINFOS. It stands for Defense Information School. It's about 6 months long and for the public affairs career field. And it gives you the basics on how to effectively communicate using cameras and other technical tools. But I've also found that teaching and training fellow soldiers, that's where I love to communicate, right? That's where I love to help out with our career field. And I've had a lot of opportunities for that. I've been fortunate in the civilian sector with photo and film. And so I've kind of taught that to the people that I go to drill with, one weekend a month. And kind of everyone comes from a different background and has a different job. And so it's great in the Army Reserve to use all those different experiences to kind of complement each other and to get that communication down is sometimes harder, but if you have a baseline for that and you have a relationship with that person, you know, it's definitely a great feeling to have when you know that your ideas are communicated effectively like that.
Right. And the respect and confidence that comes from that communication as well, I know is important.
Exactly.
So, if you don't mind, could you share some tips maybe for our audience? If this is something that all of us can benefit from, some tips that maybe would help them when it comes to effective communication. Then.
Right. So everything is fast paced, and especially being in Germany, it's a different perspective for sure. But back in America, everything is just super fast paced and immediate gratification, right? So it's hard to be patient. I would say that being patient is the number one thing for being an effective communicator, because how are you going to know what the other person is trying to relay to you if you don't take the time to listen, right? And everyone is a different way of communicating. So also being an active listener, your mind drifts off sometimes. Maybe you're stressed at work, maybe you have something to do, family member is sick. So it's like being an active listener, letting the person who you're communicating with know that your presence could speak dividends in the long run, in every way, honestly.
It's great tips and great reminders for all of us as we're looking at June being Effective Communication Month. Really appreciate the time today. Again, everyone, we've been speaking with Staff Sergeant James Garvin. He's been helping us not only to appreciate the importance of effective communication, but also, of course, how it kind of plays into his role with the Army Reserve. If you don't mind, would you let our audience know where they can go for more information about the U.S. Army?
For sure. If you visit usar.army.mil, that's where you could find over 120 jobs to look through and hopefully to connect with. So yeah, it's Army Reserve. I never realized this was a job there until I saw it on that website. So it's a great thing to know what you're interested in the civilian life could be directly related and used in the Army life and vice versa.
Awesome. And we'll definitely be plugging that also for our Facebook page as well as our social media. Thank you again for the time. Really appreciate you stopping by and looking forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Same here. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.